Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss about the direction of a nucleophile towards a carbonyl center during the nucleophilic attack at a carbonyl carbon atom. So for that let us consider a carbonyl compound and also a nucleophile. So here I have considered the nucleophile as a negatively charged entity. We all know that the carbonyl carbon is sp2 hybridized as well as the oxygen. So the molecule must be a planar one, and this will be the molecular plane. So the nucleophile can approach from either the top face or the bottom face of that particular molecular plane. So from the apparent view we can say that this nucleophile must attack this carbonyl carbon atom at a 90-degree angle. That is, the angle between this nucleophile and this carbon-oxygen double bond should be 90 degree. And the same situation should be followed when the nucleophile attacks from the bottom face of this molecular plane. But however, the situation is totally different, and for that we have to consider the HOMO-LUMO approach, the HOMO of this nucleophile and the LUMO as well as the HOMO of this carbon-oxygen double bond. And for that we have to quickly see the molecular orbitals formed between the interaction of carbon 2p orbital and the oxygen 2p orbital during the construction of carbon-oxygen double bond. So if the energy of this carbon 2p orbital is this, then the oxygen 2p orbital will have this energy situation. Since oxygen has higher electronegativity than carbon, that's why the 2p orbital of this oxygen will be stabilized compared to the 2p orbital of carbon, and hence the energy of the 2p orbital will be lower compared to the energy of the 2p orbital of carbon atom. So after the interaction, two molecular orbital will form. One will be the bonding orbital, which is denoted as pi bonding orbital, and another will be pi star anti-bonding orbital. Since both the carbon 2p and the oxygen 2p orbital contains one electron each, and these two electrons will go to the pi bonding orbital, and this pi star anti-bonding orbital will remain vacant. And this vacant pi star orbital, which is LUMO for this particular carbon-oxygen double bond, will accept the electron pairs from the nucleophiles. So in this case, this nucleophile will donate its electron pair to this particular pi star orbital. So now if we look carefully the orbital description of this pi bonding orbital as well as the pi star anti-bonding orbital, then they will look like this. The orbital coefficient for oxygen will be greater since this bonding orbital is energetically closer with this 2p orbital of oxygen atom, and hence the contribution of oxygen 2p orbital will be greater in pi bonding orbital. And since it is the bonding orbital, hence the orbital phases will be same, and thereby there will be an bonding interaction. And the picture of anti-bonding orbital will be like this, where the orbital contribution will be higher in case of carbon 2p orbital, since it is closer with this pi star anti-bonding orbital, and these 2p orbitals will be of opposite phase, and which denotes there is a nodal plane between these two p orbitals. So now in this situation, let us see what will happen when the nucleophile approaches towards a carbonyl functional group. So since the interaction between the nucleophile HOMO and the carbon oxygen double bond LUMO is taking place, and that's why we have to consider the pi star antibonding orbital. So this is our pi star antibonding orbital, and with which the nucleophile HOMO will interact. So I am considering here a sp3 hybridized orbital for the nucleophile, and it is containing 2 electrons. So now we can see that this is the molecular plane. So now we can see that the interaction between this lobe and this lobe will be maximum when this nucleophile will approach towards this carbonyl functionality at an angle 90 degree. Right? When the angle between this nucleophile and this molecular plane is 90 degree, then the interaction or overlap between these two orbital will be of maximum efficiency. Right? So from this perspective, we can expect that the nucleophile must approach at a 90 degree angle towards the carbonyl functionality. But we have to consider another situation. So this is basically the pi star antibonding orbital of the carbon oxygen double bond, and this is the HOMO of the nucleophile, and it is the LUMO. Another situation will be the interaction between the HOMO of the carbon oxygen double bond and the HOMO of this nucleophile, which will be a destabilizing interaction. And in case of HOMO of the carbon oxygen double bond, pi bonding orbital will be involved. And this is a picture of pi bonding orbital, and this is our molecular plane. So now we can see that this field HOMO orbital, which is the pi bonding orbital, will have a repulsive force towards this nucleophile, right? Because this nucleophile has 2 electrons, and this pi bonding orbital also possessing 2 electrons, and this will be a repulsion between this nucleophile and this carbonyl system, and that's why this nucleophile will avoid a 90 degree angle approach. We can also consider it like this. Here the orbital coefficient for the oxygen atom is higher, which we generally represent like this. Due to the electronegativity difference, oxygen is partially negatively polarized, and carbon is partially positively polarized. Right? We all represent a carbonyl functional group like this. So consider this type of situation here. So what will happen? This oxygen center will produce more electronically repulsion than this carbon center, right? And that's why this nucleophile will not prefer a 90 degree approach, rather it will prefer another direction like this, where the repulsion between this nucleophile and this oxygen center will be minimum, right? So in this situation, combining both these effects, the new trajectory for the nucleophile towards a carbonyl functional group will look like this. This will be the molecular plane. This is the pi star antibonding orbital, and the nucleophile will prefer a 107 degree angle approach towards this carbonyl center. So this will be our new trajectory. And this trajectory is known as Bürgi-Donitz trajectory. Right? So this is basically the experimental fact that any nucleophile, when approaches towards a carbonyl functional group, they maintain this 107 degree angle with the carbonyl system. The carbonyl system may be an aldehyde or a ketone. So this is it for this video. If you like this video, then kindly subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching this video. See you in the next video.